Hello and welcome to the Sounds and Symbols mini video series, The Road to Literacy. This is session 6 and it's about the importance of visual skills to literacy. This mini series of 20 videos offers activity ideas to help to promote the foundational skills required for literacy success. You will find this introduction at the beginning of each session to remind you of the skills you are helping your child to gain and to explain how these contribute to literacy success. Sounds and Symbols is committed to play-based learning, the belief that the spoken word should come before the written word, Vygotsky's socio-cultural theory of cognitive development, that language is the root of culture, that a child's culture is significant to their learning, and that children learn within their community role. That building knowledge upon previous knowledge is how children learn, through holism, bringing together everything that they know, and that children learn through doing. This diagram shows indicators of good literacy. Children learn through experience. This is gained from their environment and their interactions within it. The skills on this diagram are evident in children who are good at literacy. By promoting these skills, it is possible to establish a sound foundation for literacy. Each indicator has been identified through educational research. Children who struggle with literacy are often weak in some of these areas. For a more in-depth explanation of these indicators, please refer to the Literacy Unlocked webinars at www.melsis.co.uk/eduweb. Teaching children through music is a very natural, fun and enjoyable and successful way to learn, and this is especially true of literacy because language and music have a great deal in common. Facility with language and the ability to discriminate and to manipulate language sounds are the most important precursors to literacy success. Musical activities offer a means of playing with language sounds. By focusing on developing an awareness of language sounds, a secure literacy foundation can be laid. Listening to stories, singing songs, reciting rhymes, and enjoying finger plays and action songs are the bedrock of early literacy learning, as they help children to tune in to language sounds. They also help to create a fun and playful environment in which children can learn to identify, match, and manipulate language sounds. These skills are essential for literacy. On the diagram here, we don't have visual skills, but we have visual discrimination. And on the diagram, we're looking at literacy. So for visual discrimination, we're talking about looking at the difference between letters. However, before children learn the difference between different letter shapes, they need to be able to tell the difference between all sorts of shapes, any sort of shapes. So they need to be able to visually discriminate. Eventually, children will be able to need to recognize letters and words in different texts. So there's lots of different texts, lots of different fonts, maybe even at different angles. This comes through exposure, experience, and practice. It's important that children learn to focus their vision, looking for specific items on a page. So for example, the books like Where's Wally are good for children to look for certain things. So looking for a particular thing within something else. It starts with pictures, so naming pictures. What is this a picture of? And understanding it's not a real thing, it's just a representation. Shapes, numbers, words, letters. Through exposure to various fonts and texts, children are able to recognize and read many types of print. Think of all the different types of print that you can recognize now. So we need to read lots of books with children. We mentioned this before. If we're thinking about shape and visual discrimination, a book like this is quite useful. So this is Shapes That Go. So it's about transport. So what shape can you see here? If we learn a circle, then we learn that, oh, a wheel is a circle. So here we've got a circle. We're learning about colours as well because it's red. And then can you see the circle in the tractor wheel? Then we have a square, which is blue. Can you find some squares in the truck? Here. You get the idea. Then we have a triangle. Remember we had a triangle earlier in the series, which was an instrument. Can you find the triangle here in the bike? And so it goes on. So also you can maybe have actual maybe wooden pieces or blocks that children learn to recognise the shapes of. Also, children need to know about books. It's not the same in every language. Which way do they go? They need to know that a book opens this way in English and European languages this way. But if your child was an Arabic speaking child, their book would be this way up and they would learn to read it that way. And the text goes this way from right to left. So it's important that children learn bibliographic knowledge. That means knowledge about books and how they work. And direction of print as well. So another thing we can, and there's some more books. Just any books that children can look at, name the pictures. This one is Touch and Feel book. It's about a little fireman. It would go nice with the Hurry, Hurry, Drive the Engine song. I'd like to be a fireman. It really would be fun. I'd wear a yellow shiny hat and boots that make me run. Okay, here, so you're also building vocabulary, you're looking at visual skills, language skills. When you're reading books like this with children, there are so many skills that children are gaining through these activities. You need to read books every day, all the time. You can look at colours, shapes. You know, can you find the fire bucket? Where is the fire bucket in the picture? These are things that you need to do with the children. Another one, Hickory Dickory Dock. So again, we have a clock, and you could use this for number recognition. Can children recognise the numbers? I've had some numbers printed off, and when I'm doing some songs about numbers, I ask children, can you put the numbers on the wall? Can you put them in the right order? Can you stick them up for me? And I also notice if children get the numbers the right way up. Do they put them the right way up or sideways or upside down? Because they need to recognise the numbers and know which way up they go. It all sounds very obvious, but it's not when you're a little child and you don't know. So we've got Hickory Dickory Dock. Again, I've got my little mouse going up the clock. So you could do Hickory Dickory Dock. The mouse goes up the clock, and each child could have a turn at putting the clock struck 1, and the clock struck 2, and 3 and 4. Children can take turns at doing the time and reading the numbers and learning the o'clock, learning to tell the time on an analogue clock, which is becoming a bit rare these days. So you can have a look at the Hickory Dickory Dock rhyme. We also mentioned using a book like Where's Wally? I don't have a Where's Wally book, but I'm sure you know what those are. Another one where we use the rhyme to build vocabulary and for listening skills, lots of different skills in their rhyme as well, but also to look at letter shapes, because if you remember the little puppets in the video Tiny Tim, the puppets had little letters on them as well. I'll show you that video now so that you can see what I mean and you can talk about them. The next song is one of my favourite songs, and it's about a little turtle, and his name is Tiny Tim. Here is our little turtle, Tiny Tim, and on his tummy he has a T. T for turtle, T for tiny, T Tim, and even T Tommy. And we have a very large, handsome turtle here. Turtles live in the sea. You can see his big flippers for swimming in the sea. And this little song is about a turtle. Did you remember his name? His name is Tiny Tim. And we put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim. But he drank up all the water. He ate up all the soap. The next thing we knew, he had bubbles in his, what's this, throat. So in came the doctor, in came the nurse, and in came a lady with an alligator purse. So you can see here the alligator has got an A for alligator on his tummy. The nurse has got a N for nurse on his tummy. And the doctor has got a D for doctor on her tummy. Okay, are we ready to sing this song? Here we go. I had a little turtle and his name was Tiny Tim. I put him in the bathtub to see if he could swim, but he drank up all the water and he ate up all the soap. The next thing I knew, he had bubbles in his throat. So in came the doctor, in came the nurse, and in came the lady with the alligator purse. And out went the doctor, out went the nurse, and out went the lady with the alligator purse. Bye-bye. There are so many skills being promoted in that activity. It's one of my favourites and the children just love it. So when you're doing that activity, if you can manage to deliver it and also observe what the children are doing, think about whether the children can recognise numbers to 10. Can they recognise shapes? Are they beginning to recognise their name, for example, or any letter shapes? It's more important that children learn the sound of the letters than it is that they learn the names. Ideally, they can learn them together. We'll talk about that later. So think about how many shapes a child recognises and identifies. Can a child put a number on the wall the right way up? And can each child read a book, observing the correct direction of print? We don't mean to read the book, but turning over the pages, and so they know which direction print goes. That's all for now. Thank you for watching. Have a great day, and please join me again for number 7, which is about talking about the present. Thank you very much. Goodbye.